Guys, welcome to the Stoic Wrist Wrap review and first look. Actually, not first look. I've had these now for about 2 years, and so far I've actually been loving them. But these wrist wraps will cost you about $15 on Amazon. Now, that's definitely worth it. I think that you should have as much support in the gym as possible, and you should even have just anything you can do to prevent injury is worth it tenfold. So let's talk feel. So feel of the wrist wraps feel really good. When you bench press, when you shoulder press, or any kind of movement, they feel awesome. They keep your wrist straight and in the movement and keeping it straight, I guess you'd say. They're basically for keeping your wrist straight and keeping your wrist in the movement efficiently and effectively, so that you don't bend this way or bend that way, because your wrist is supposed to stay straight throughout these movements. If your wrist does not stay straight throughout these movements, you risk injury and possibly even just days or even weeks out of the gym, and we do not want that. We do not want any injuries at all. We want to stay in the gym as long as we possibly can. So let's talk about how they should feel and how they should fit. First of all, they should not be too tight or too loose. Too tight reduces blood flow, and too loose just doesn't have a purpose for the wrist wraps in the first place. So you want them to be right in the middle. And to know this is that if your wrist is suffocating throughout the movement, then they're too tight. And if your wrist bends back or bends forward or whatever your wrist is bending, then it is too loose. And just honestly, if you don't feel your wrist staying straight at all, you may want to tighten them a little bit more, but not much at all, because we do not want to suffocate your wrists. I have found from personal experience by using these, my wrists have felt a lot better throughout these movements, such as the bench press and the shoulder press, and anything that requires your wrist to stay straight. Trust me, wrist injuries are not fun. I actually had a bruised wrist 2 years ago. Actually, yeah, 2 years ago, and actually no, 2.5 years ago. And you do not want that type of injury. It is not good at all. Trust me, you do not want those injuries. I was out of the gym probably for at least, well, actually doing bench press movements and pressing up probably at least a month or so. So you really want to be careful, and your wrist plays a huge part in lifting weights for sure. Now, they're actually 4.5 stars on Amazon with about 2,000 reviews. They're actually labeled as Amazon's choice, which plays a big part in honestly my buying decisions as well. But after I got my knee injury about 2 years ago, and I was out of the gym and squats for about 1.5 years, I figured that every part of my body needs support, and getting knee sleeves helped my knees a ton, and now getting wrist wraps helps your wrist a ton. This is all about preventing injury before it even happens, because once it happens, then it's too late. So you gotta prevent it before it actually happens. But by doing this, we can add support and doing the movements the right way. Wrist wraps, right? Who's that clientele? Who's that person out there that needs wrist wraps? First of all, if you have a lot of wrist pain, or if you struggle to keep your wrists straight and in sync with your movements in the gym, I would advise you to get wrist wraps. But if you're a person who does not have wrist pain and does the movements pretty well, you should get wrist wraps, right? I would advise you to get wrist wraps. I think everyone, once again, should prevent injury before actually having the injury, because once again, once you get it, it's too late. And this is just me speaking from personal experience. What I will say about these wraps though is that after a while, they can get a little bit itchy, because they're made of that fabric that makes your skin a little bit itchy. But that's after a long time of wearing them, and your wrists can get a little bit sweaty after you use them, because you have support in your wrist and you have a band around it, so there's more heat that builds up and friction. But no big deal. I think that the pros and the effectiveness definitely weigh out the cons. But guys, that is all I got for this video about wrist wraps. any Stoic wrist wrap review. If you did enjoy this video, I would highly appreciate if you left a like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you guys did enjoy the formatting content of this video, I would highly appreciate if you left a like and subscribe. But I'll see you broskies in the next video.